Who is the greatest tennis player of all time? Is it Novak Djokovic, the Joker, who consistently demonstrates his best strength on the court?
24 matches in a row now at the Australian Open for Novak.
Or Rafael Nadal, the king of clay and the greatest single-surface player in tennis history?
Oh, come on, Rafa Nadal!
How about the retired Roger Federer, who played every aspect of his game with grace and ease? The trio have been the dominant forces for well over a decade, and it remains a contentious issue as to which of them is the greatest of their age, if not all time, considering that they each hold different records. Let's look at their remarkable and inspiring tennis journeys. Novak Djokovic. Novak Djokovic is one of the greatest tennis players in history, arguably the greatest Serbian sportsman of all time. Rafael Nadal, Andy Murray and Roger Federer have been his toughest rivals throughout his career. Novak, also known as Noel, and Djoka, started his career at a young age. In fact, he used a tennis racket for the first time when he was just 4 years old. As he grew older, he began to thrive in the sport at a period when his native Serbia was going through challenging political instability. Novak won the World Junior Championships in Europe when he was only 14 years old. The top tennis player, according to Britannica, debuted in the top 100 rankings of the Association of Tennis Professionals, ATP, at the age of 18. Djokovic has 21 Grand Slam titles, one more than Roger Federer. Rafael Nadal holds the most Grand Slam titles with 22. The Serb has won 9 Australian Opens, 7 Wimbledons, 2 Roland Garros and 3 US Opens. He has 9 Melbourne Park titles and he is 18-0 in semi-finals and finals. Djokovic is also a ringer on the Wimbledon grass, where he has won 7 titles, matching his childhood idol Pete Sampras. He is the first man to have completed the career Grand Slam twice, having done so again by winning Roland Garros in 2021. On November 6, 2021, his victory over Hubert Hurkacz at the Paris Masters assured he would end the year ranked world number 1 for a record 7th time. For good measure, he defeated Daniil Medvedev to win Paris for the 6th time. Djokovic has also won 90 career titles, including a record 37 Masters 1000 crowns following his victory in Tel Aviv in October 2022. Djokovic has also surpassed Roger Federer's all-time ATP record for weeks at number 1, which stood at 310 weeks. In March 2021, Djokovic celebrated his 311th week as global number 1. He has a record 373 weeks as the number 1 as of November 15, 2022. Novak Djokovic is reportedly one of the highest paid tennis players in the world, according to a Forbes analysis. The 21-time Grand Slam champion is well known for his considerable income, substantial personal wealth, business holdings, and luxury brand endorsements. With an estimated $9.9 million in tournament earnings in 2023 and a staggering net worth of $230 million, Novak Djokovic is one of the richest people in the world. The tennis great has earned around $164 million. According to Forbes, his salary in 2021 totaled $4.5 million, while his profits from brand partnerships and endorsements were $30 million. This reflects an increase from the previous year. Numerous prestigious companies are sponsoring the Serbian tennis player. For instance, his sponsors include the Seiko Watch Company, Peugeot, Ultimate Software Group, and tennis racket manufacturer Head. Additionally, he is linked to Lacoste, which offers a unique Novak Djokovic X Lacoste line that fans should check out. Aside from the top tennis player, other brands that made money off him include Hublot, Fitline, and Raiffeisen Bank International. Additionally, Novak endorses Telekom Serbia, a Serbian phone provider. His most recent commercial partnership was with the upscale footwear company Asics. Novak Djokovic is a man on a goal, as he has stated that he wants to shatter as many tennis records as he can before his career comes to an end. Djokovic won 5 championships in 2022, despite competing in a scant number of tournaments, with title number 91 coming at the ATP Finals, which concluded the season. After his victory in Kazakhstan earlier in the season, he has won in 19 different nations. With his triumph over Sebastian Korda in the Adelaide International 1 final this year, he raised it to number 92. Djokovic earned his first championship at the 2006 Dutch Open. His best year in terms of titles was 2015, when he won 11 of them. He also won 10 trophies in 2011. Despite the many uncertainties surrounding his performance this year, after being deported in 2022, and the currently mixed feelings around his homecoming, he is still the finest and most powerful player right now. Djokovic had a light schedule in 2022 and missed 2 big tournaments, but he still won Wimbledon and 4 other championships, including the ATP Finals at the end of the year. In Adelaide, Djokovic began 2023 with winning yet another trophy. He's going to be really challenging to defeat, since he probably plays with a chip on his shoulder and a point to prove. Carlos Alcaraz, the current US Open winner and world number 1, won't be in Melbourne due to a right leg injury, but it doesn't hurt his chances either. A recent statement made in November 2021 by 14-time Grand Slam champion Pete Sampras is the latest solid statement pointing to Djokovic being the greatest tennis player of all time. I do believe that what Novak has done over the last 10 years, winning the majors, being consistent, ending number 1 for 7 years, to me, is a clear indication that he is the best of all time, Sampras stated. Niki Pilic, a former French Open runner-up who trained Djokovic since he was 12, believes the Serbian will go down as the greatest player of all time. Djokovic having won the most Masters titles, he is the only player to have won every slam at least twice, and at one time he had about 17,000 ATP points. In that moment, he accumulated more points than Murray, Nadal and Federer combined. I'm not being biased. Novak is the greatest player of all time, he told a Croatian publication. Rafael Nadal. Before Rafael Nadal, the tennis world was entirely different. The game was eternally altered by the Spanish player's ascent since Nadal became a legend among fans and a role model for younger players. Nadal, also known as Rafa, managed to establish his place in tennis history despite having to share the spotlight with Roger Federer at one point. Nadal began playing tennis at the age of 3. He was born on June 3, 1986, in the Spanish province of Manacor. He had already triumphed in the local under-12 tennis competition by 1994. He played his debut Association of Tennis Professionals (ATP) match in 2002, defeating Ramon Delgado, and experienced victory for the first time. Nadal's accomplishment made him the 9th tennis player to achieve this feat before turning the age of 16. Nadal went on to become one of the best tennis players to ever hold a racket, and there was no turning back after that. Nadal had a breakthrough year in 2005. Nadal went on to win a number of championships, after becoming the youngest player to advance past the 3rd round of the Miami Masters since Becker. Nadal won 11 singles titles, becoming the most successful young male player of the year. He earned the nickname King of Clay, since 8 of his victories occurred on clay courts. Furthermore, despite his youth, he had no trouble shining on the huge stage. In his very first appearance, Nadal defeated a youthful Roger Federer in the semi-finals of the French Open, Roland Garros, beginning the famed rivalry between the two players. Nadal thus became the 3rd-ranked player in the world. In addition to the aforementioned Australian Open victories, Nadal has won 12 French Open titles, 4 US Open titles, 2 Wimbledon championships, and 2 Olympic medals throughout his career, gold in 2008 and 2016. The following year, Nadal continued to dominate, adding 5 more ATP titles to his resume, including a 2nd consecutive victory at Roland Garros, defeating Federer in a thrilling final. Although Nadal made it to his first Wimbledon final, Roger won this time. In 2007, the Spanish great surpassed Andre Agassi to set a record for the most straight victories on clay courts, 81. But in the ATP Masters Series Hamburg Championship match, Federer put an end to that amazing winning streak. However, Nadal recovered and won the Roland Garros for a 3rd consecutive year. Even though he fell to Federer at Wimbledon once more, he finished the year with 6 victories. By capturing the men's singles gold medal at the Olympic Games in Beijing, Nadal demonstrated that 2008 was intended to be his year. This victory caused him to surpass Federer as the number 1 player in the world. Nadal showed no signs of slowing down, defeating Federer in the start of 2009 to become the first Spanish player to win the Australian Open. In 2010, Nadal added to his legacy by winning the French Open and claiming his 5th Roland Garros title. Nadal won more Grand Slam championships only a few months later. Along with winning his 2nd Wimbledon championship, Nadal defeated Novak Djokovic to win the US Open, completing a career Grand Slam and career Golden Slam, all 4 majors plus an Olympic gold medal. While he continued to rule the French Open in 2011, Djokovic defeated Nadal in his subsequent 3 Grand Slam finals. To win another major, the Spaniard had to wait until the 2012 Roland Garros, where he defeated Nadal to win 7 trophies and surpass him as the most successful French Open player ever. He was unfortunately forced to sit out for several months due to knee tendinitis, which is why he was unable to compete for the London Olympics. Nadal made a remarkable return in 2013, winning his 8th French Open title to strengthen his dominance on clay. Nadal reclaimed the top spot in the ATP World Rankings after winning his 2nd US Open versus Djokovic. In 2014, Nadal maintained his dominance at the French Open, defeating Nadal to capture his 9th title. Nadal now has 14 Grand Slam singles titles, tying Pete Sampras and falling just 3 short of Federer. A series of injuries, however, slowed his progress. Nadal struggled to regain form after missing much of the 2014 season. His streak of 10 years with at least 1 Grand Slam victory came to an end when Djokovic defeated Nadal in the French Open for the first time since 2009, while Nadal struggled in the other majors. Despite winning Monte Carlo and Barcelona, Nadal was eliminated early from the Australian Open and Roland Garros in 2016. In terms of Grand Slam events, it was a forgettable year, but Nadal won another Olympic gold medal in Rio. There is nothing Nadal hasn't accomplished in his career. However, he has done so many things that may make it difficult to recall them all. Let's look at his most notable records and achievements in men's singles and men's doubles. ATP Newcomer of the Year 2003, ATP Most Improved Player of the Year 2005, Golden Bagel Award 2005, Laureus World Sports Award for Breakthrough of the Year 2006, Prince of Asturias Award for Sports 2008, ITF World Tour Champion 2008, Best International Athlete ESPY Award 2008, BBC Overseas Sports Personality of the Year 2010, ATP Player of the Year Award 2008, 2010, 2013 and 2017. He founded the Rafa Nadal Academy in 2016, producing talents like Casper Ruud. 92 ATP singles titles, including a record 22 Grand Slams. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Rafael Nadal's net worth is expected to be $220 million in 2023. Since 2001, the tennis player has earned a total of $125 million on the ATP Tour, winning 89 titles. Behind Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer, Nadal is the player with the most prize money on tour. In addition to his professional earnings, he has also made $100 million through brand endorsements and other sources of income. His holdings include opulent Spanish houses, expensive automobiles, and the Rafa Nadal Academy. Nadal has been an ambassador for Kia Motors since 2006 and can be seen in various company ads. Nike is his principal sponsor, and he has been wearing their clothing on court for the past 13 years. Not only that, but Nadal had Nike-designed clothes for him to wear throughout the competition. Tommy Hilfiger, Mapfre, Insure & Go, and Emporio Armani are among his numerous brand sponsorships. Nadal has also famously modelled for Armani in their signature pants and underpants. After winning his fourth French Open title in 2008, Nadal established the Rafa Nadal Foundation in Spain. The mission of this charity is to assist socially disadvantaged youth who are at risk of social isolation. He has also established the Anna Antapur Education Centre in India for socially marginalised youngsters. The tennis player has also made investments in other companies. He has already invested in the Spanish restaurant chain Tatal with singer Enrique Iglesias and player Cristian Ronaldo. There are locations in Madrid, Ibiza and Miami. Rafael Nadal is without doubt one of the top players the sport has ever seen. Despite competing against the likes of Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray, the Spaniard has created open-era history. Team World Captain John McEnroe once said, "The greatest grass court player of all time is Roger, the greatest hard court player is Novak, and the greatest clay court player is Rafa." Roger Federer. Roger Federer is not just considered as one of the greatest tennis players of all time. For many, he is unquestionably the best, but he is also generally admired for his sportsmanship. He is a former professional tennis player from Switzerland who was born in Basel in 1981. He has had a tremendous career, winning 20 Grand Slam men's singles titles and topping the ATP Men's World Rankings for 302 weeks overall and 237 consecutive weeks. His legendary career earned him the moniker Maestro or GOAT, greatest of all time. Federer's life was influenced by sports since he was a child, and it wasn't always tennis. He also supported Swiss giants FC Basel 1893 in football, a sport he has always enjoyed. However, he gradually gravitated towards tennis, which he began playing at the age of 8. Federer hails from a tennis-loving family, but none of them had the talent that Roger showed early in life. His natural aptitude was so obvious that he didn't hesitate to pursue a career in the sport. Federer was already in the top 3 junior tennis players in Switzerland when he was 11 years old. Roger then stopped other sports to devote as much time as possible to tennis, making efforts such as practicing 6 hours each week. And it paid off. After turning 14, he became his country's national junior champion and was sponsored to train at the Swiss National Tennis Centre in Écublens. Federer advanced his tennis career by joining the International Tennis Federation Junior Circuit in July 1996. Roger achieved his first major victory in 1998 when he won the Junior Wimbledon Tournament and the Orange Bowl, earning him the title of ITF World Junior Tennis Champion of the Year. Federer made his professional debut at the Davis Cup at the age of 18 and finished 1998 as the 64th ranked player in the ATP World Rankings, making him the youngest player in history to close the year in the top 100. Federer captured the world's attention in 2001 when he shocked reigning champion and tennis great Pete Sampras in the 4th round of Wimbledon. He took a further step the next year. In 2002, he cracked the top 10 for the first time, finishing 6th in the ATP World Rankings. That established the groundwork for his breakout year in 2003, when he revealed his genuine potential to the tennis world. Federer created history by winning Wimbledon, becoming the first Swiss player to accomplish it. That put him in second place in the world, but he wasn't done. Federer ascended to the top of the ATP rankings for the first time at the end of 2004, after winning the US Open, Australian Open, and retaining his Wimbledon crown. In addition, he reached the ATP Masters Series 1000 finals and the ATP Series 500 finals. Federer, who had already established himself as one of the world's greatest, had a difficult start to 2005, despite being ranked first at the start of the year. However, he recovered by winning Wimbledon for the third time in a row, as well as another US Open title. Federer concluded the year by winning 11 of 15 tournaments. Furthermore, he held the record of winning 24 straight finals, July 2003 to November 2005. Far from slowing down, the Swiss maestro was completely dominant in 2006. He not only won his 4th straight Wimbledon title, but also the Australian and US Opens. Federer also came near to winning the upcoming Grand Slam tournament in his career, but lost out to Spain's Rafael Nadal in the Roland Garros final. Nonetheless, he had a highly productive season, winning 12 of 17 tournaments and becoming the world's number 1 for the 3rd straight year. Federer began 2007 on a high note, earning his 10th Grand Slam victory at the Australian Open. However, his search for the coveted French Open trophy resumed a few months later when he was defeated by Nadal once more. By then, his sporting rivalry with Nadal had reached a climax, though the Swiss star later claimed vengeance. Federer continued to demonstrate how uneasy he was on grass, defeating Nadal in a 5-set Wimbledon final to become the second male player in more than a century to win 5 straight Wimbledon championships. He also won a record-breaking 4th consecutive US Open title. These are some of Roger Federer's most notable achievements. Federer is one of the 2 male players, Bjorn Borg 1976 to 1980, in history to conquer 5 consecutive Wimbledon titles, 2003 to 2007. Most time spent at the top of the ATP World Ranking, 302 weeks overall. Longest streak as number 1 of the ATP World Ranking, 237 consecutive weeks from 2004 to 2008. Among the 8 players with a career Grand Slam, winning all 4 Grand Slam singles titles, Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon and US Open. Most Wimbledon championships won with 8. Helped Switzerland win its first and only Davis Cup. Oldest player to become world number 1, 36. 103 professional titles, second most in Open era. Jimmy Connors is first with 109. Won 65 matches in a row, on grass, between June 2003 and July 2008. The fans' favourite award given by the ATP Tour's website from 2003 to 2018. Stefan Edberg Sportsmanship Award on 13 occasions from 2004 to 2009, 2011 and 2017. Laureus World Sportsman of the Year from 2005 to 2008 and in 2018. Arthur Ashe Humanitarian of the Year Award in 2006 and 2013. Federer unfortunately continued to experience knee issues and was sidelined for a considerable amount of time. The ATP Tour legend from Switzerland declared his intention to stop competing in September 2022. Federer said in a moving message to the sports world, and particularly the tennis community, that he will stop competing after the Laver Cup. Federer remarked, "This is a bittersweet decision because I will miss everything the tour has given me. There is a lot to rejoice, though, at the same time. I count myself among the world's luckiest players. I was granted a rare ability for tennis, which I used to play at a level and for a period of time that defied all expectations." He played a doubles game with Rafa Nadal in his farewell match, which was heartbreaking for both of them.
She kept me going and allowed me to play, so it's amazing.
As of 2023, Roger Federer had a net worth of $450 million, making him one of the richest athletes in the world. Despite being retired at the moment, he still holds the record for the most endorsement deals, having signed $90 million worth of contracts with brands like Barilla, Credit Suisse Group, Jura, Linton Sprungeli, LVMH, Mott Hennessy, Louis Vuitton, Mercedes-Benz, Rimowa, Rolex, Sunrise Communications AG, Switzerland Tourism, Uniqlo and Wilson Sporting Goods. Without a doubt, Roger Federer had a remarkable career that earned him respect from everyone in the sports industry. Although he is currently enjoying life away from the tennis court, his career as a professional tennis player will always be remembered. Each of these players has had tremendous success and made an enduring contribution to the tennis community. Federer is still revered by his followers as the tennis king, even if he is no longer actively competing. only Djokovic and Nadal remain, and it will be intriguing to watch which of them can establish themselves as the indisputable GOAT, given that both of their careers are coming to a conclusion. So, who do you think is the tennis greatest player of all time? Leave us your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more success stories, and thank you for watching.